Good morning, cozy family. Welcome to my channel. I want to start this day by resetting my house. I'm going to do a light cleaning because it clears and calms the mind. And then later, I can just relax and enjoy making a new recipe that I want to show you. I'll start with a tea, my to-do list, and then we're ready to go. So we have a recipe that I want to do later, and I need my sourdough starter. So in order to use that, I have to feed it now, I have to wait 4 to 6 hours for it to become active and bubbly. Then we'll use it in the recipe. So we're gonna put the dough together tonight, and then we're going to do the cooking of that dough, which is a type of bread. We're gonna do that tomorrow. In another video, we will go through the entire sourdough process. But for now, I'm just gonna show you how to feed it. Okay, so it's as easy as a half a cup of flour, half a cup of water, and we're just gonna mix that up. Pretty sure I'm gonna get messy with this, but okay. All you wanna do is just mix it up. Then we're gonna cover this and we're gonna leave it for 4 to 6 hours before I put together the dough, because you want it to be really bubbly and active. You know what I'll do? I'll show you ahead of time what it looks like. Okay, there is some bubbles in there, but I'll show you afterwards what it looks like. So here we're putting together the dough. The starter has been fed 4 hours ago. It's very bubbly and active, as you can see. And we're going to put the liquid ingredients together, which is 1 cup of starter, half a cup of milk, and a 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt. Now I want to add that I am including in the show notes below a recipe that involves yeast and not sourdough starter for those that don't have a sourdough starter. Now in a few moments you'll see that my camera actually stopped working. The SD card was full. I was not aware of that. And I added the flour, baking powder, and salt, but it doesn't show here on camera. But I do have the measurements down below. Once you mix in the flour, it does not have to be kneaded, just stirred like I'm doing there with a rubber spatula. I add a little bit of oil and just coat the dough itself. Then we're going to loosely cover the dough with the saran wrap and a cloth on top, and we're going to let it sit overnight. The next morning is when you're going to cook the bread. You're going to leave it on the counter, and the longer it goes, the tangier it gets. It has that sourdough taste. Good morning. It's the next day after we put the dough together last night, and what we're making is Turkish Gozleme. It's a type of dough that traditionally been used as a savory turnover. The Italian version of that would be a calzone or a panzerotti. These Turkish turnovers have been made for the last 2,000 years. When I saw the recipe, I found it really interesting and I wanted to try it. So that's the dough that we put together last night. And what we're going to do today is we're going to do it 2 ways. We're going to make it into flatbreads or naan type breads. And also we're going to do the traditional turnovers, which has been traditionally a breakfast food. It's usually stuffed with meat and onions and vegetables, eggplant, zucchini. But today we're gonna do something a little bit different. So first let's make some of the breads. So what I wanna do is I wanna cut this dough into sections. So we've oiled our cutting board. And let's oil our hands just a touch as well because it's super sticky dough. Now this has been fermenting for about 10 hours. And the reason that that's important is because when you're using wheat flour has a protein in it that is very difficult to digest. And with the sourdough, it actually does the job of your stomach, so it actually digests. Let's do 6. It actually digests this partially for you and breaks down that protein so that it's much easier to digest for the body. So I'm going to put it into 6 pieces, okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to make some flatbreads with it. It spreads really nicely because the dough is very mature. You don't want to have little holes in the middle here, so just do the sides more, or the outsides, so that you're able to pick it up. It's not so thin that it's going to fall apart, but that you're able to pick it up. Let's do 2 at a time. It'll help. So now they're going to be a little bit wonky, but that's okay. So we're going to turn on the burner, a larger burner, because I'm using a cast iron pan. Now I love cast iron pans for this reason, to make these flatbreads, because you don't have to put a lot of oil or anything like that. So I'm going to put it on sort of a medium high. Okay? Then I'm going to oil the pan a little bit. This is a well-seasoned cast iron pan, so it's great. It does great for me. Okay, we're gonna let that heat up, and then we're gonna be back. Okay, so it's well preheated. Now, the trick is picking these guys up and just putting them in. Each one takes about not even a minute on each side. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a little spritz on that side. Just before I turn it over, let's check. A little bit more. You want some dark areas. So let's have a peek. Oh yeah, that's what we want. Let's have another peek. A little bit more. You don't want it to be gummy. You want it to be cooked through. And even a little bit crispy. Let's have a peek. Yep, that's perfect. So that side, let's throw that off. Okay, now we're going to put this one. Again, just sort of watch yourself. Don't get burnt. And I'll put a little bit of oil just on that side. So here are the breads we made. They're beautiful flatbreads, and they have that slight tang to them like sourdough does. Now we're going to make this dough another way. What we're going to do is we are going to make a stuffing for one of the breads. I use a little bit of avocado oil. By the way, I do use avocado oil for high heat situations like this because it does not oxidize the way olive oil does. We're going to put some onion. I'm just going to saute that onion a little bit. Then we're going to throw in some peppers, some beautiful sweet orange peppers. You could pretty much put anything in this, but I'm going to sort of make it, really, like tradition, a breakfast food. I have the oven preheating at 400 right now, and I'll show you why. A little bit of pepper. And then I have ham, chopped cooked ham. When I cook a ham, which isn't very often, I mince it and I freeze it in small portions so that I can do something like this with it for something quick. The type of stuffings that the Turkish used was ground meat of some sort, and onions, garlic, eggplant, zucchini, things like that. In the meantime, I'm going to beat some eggs. Okay, so we're going to make a type of scrambled egg. If I were going to eat those breads as flatbreads, the way we made, I would actually make a frittata to put inside. And that'd be awesome. But I want you to see it the way, sort of like a calzone, a breakfast calzone. Okay, we're going to cook that up just for a couple of minutes. The filling is done. Okay. And I also did a bit of cheddar in honor of this being a breakfast food. So all you're wanting to do all there is to do is just put your filling in. You're going to be messy. It doesn't matter. Then we're just going to put a little cheddar over that. Let's make sure it's not sticking out though. Okay, so now make sure the edges are clear. You're going to just fold it over like a little pizza pocket. You don't want the filling or the cheese to start spilling out, so you really want to seal that up. You're going to want to give it a little vent hole, so I just go like that. Okay, so in the oven it goes. It's going to take about 15-20 minutes depending, but we'll look at it and see. Okay, here it is. Let's do this. Look at that. Delish. And there you have it. Turkish Gozleme 2 ways. As breads that you can use as flatbreads and stuffed. I wanted to mention also that these can be made ahead of time and frozen. You can also make smaller ones for breakfast and just as a grab and go meal. So let's have a taste. Oh yeah. Delicious. Wow. Who could taste these and ever have a fast food breakfast sandwich again? This could be my lunch. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments below if you try these and if you love them or not, but let me know.